Hey family, it's your girl, Boss B, and welcome to the Ask a Bee Show, the place where your letters come to life. Every day people write in with real questions about life, love, and everything in between. And together we find hope, healing, and a whole lot of honesty. Because here on Ask a Bee, we don't just talk about problems, we talk about possibilities. So grab your tea, open your heart, and let's buzz into today's letters right here on the Ask a Bee Show. Hello again. We are live. Welcome back to Ask a Bee, where the real questions find real courage, and where we take the time to really sit with what matters. Now, before we even get into today's letters, I want to take a moment and truly appreciate something. Now, y'all just saw that brand new intro at the top of the show, and that came straight from Big Jack. I'm going to put you on point today, sir, because this one is amazing, okay? I don't say these things lightly, all right? The man put his whole skill set into it. And you know what? He did the same thing for Mama Lyons. I mean, wow. Clean transitions, professional timing, y'all. The kind of look that makes you sit up a little straighter before you even start talking. That intro, it sets the entire tone for my show today and any other day. And BBTV wouldn't have it without him. So Big Jack, thank you yet again. Not just for the work, but for always pushing us all forward. You know, you're an inspiration yourself, sir. You're always raising the bar, always bringing the heart and leadership to everything we do. And I am so grateful that I get to be a part of this world with you. Now, speaking of the bar being raised, hello, Echo. Good to see you. Yay. Thank you for being here. Okay, now speaking of the bar being raised, let me remind everybody of something. Every single person watching this, whether you're here on live, watching the replay, or just stopping by after a short, you have a voice in this community, okay? And if you ever want to send in your own letters or sit in on a panel for Ask a Bee, Ladies Diary, hey, Gentleman's Journal, any of those beautiful spinoffs from the Iron Sharpening Iron universe, the email, it's scrolling right across your screen right now. There are 3 emails, mine, Big Jack's, and Mama Lyons. And yes, please send us your emails, okay? Tell your story, share your question, and join the conversation. Now, this space works because you're part of it, all right? And we're building something bigger than just a show. We're building a conversation that continues every day. And we'll start exactly the way I love to today, all right? With some fun. Just a quick warm-up letter to get a little laugh out of you. A little loosen up moment before we dive into today's real topic, because let me tell you, sometimes I need those loose up moments. In the first 5 minutes of my live, I am just jittery, and I just decided the best way to hook anybody is to get them to smile. Don't you think? I believe it. So we're going to start with a funny one today. And I thought this one was actually priceless, and I might be related, literally, by blood. All right. Dear B, I need you to settle a debate in my house. Oh, that's usually the first thing you shouldn't ask me to do. My husband refuses, and I mean refuses, to do any chore unless AC/DC is blasting at full volume. Dishes? AC/DC. Laundry? AC/DC. Taking out the trash? AC/DC. He even said he can't mow the lawn unless he feels the spirit of Angus Young move through him. B, is this normal behavior, or did I accidentally marry a man who thinks he's on a world tour every time he picks up a broom? I know I told you this was funny, right? All right, first of all, I love him. I don't even know the man and I love him. Because let me tell you something, okay? If you can get a grown adult to willingly do chores and he's doing it with enthusiasm, that is not a husband, honey. That is a blessing. Okay? Now, is it normal behavior? Absolutely. 100%. You have married a man whose entire nervous system is wired to function only when ACDC is present. Some people need caffeine. Some people need meditation. Your man, he needs thunderstruck just to start the dishwasher. And honestly, I respect that. I also respect the commitment, okay? Because anybody can pretend they're a rock star in the car. I know I try. But it takes a special kind of man to fold towels like he's in the middle of a stadium tour. If he starts doing windmill guitar moves with the Swiffer, leave him be, honey. Let the magic happen. And it's not the Swiffer that's the magic, okay? Now, the real red flag would be if he's sitting on the couch doing nothing, if all it takes is Back in Black to get the trash taken out, baby, turn up the volume. You got earplugs. You know you do. He snores too. Here's the truth. Okay? You didn't marry a man who thinks he's Angus Young with a broom. You married a man who has figured out how to motivate himself in life. And that's rare. Okay? Let him have his moment. You do not interrupt greatness in motion. You don't interrupt his emotion anytime. My only real advice here, I guess, is invest in good speakers and earplugs. Because I promise you, a man who clings to ACDC is a man who is going to be in motion for the rest of his life. Ride the lightning, honey. Ride it all the way to a clean kitchen. All right, what y'all think about that? Oh my goodness. That was fun. And that's the way you start an Ask a Bee. I think that's what we're doing here. That's pretty crazy because I think she might be married to my husband's brother that he doesn't have, because that sounds pretty par. I don't know if it's so much ACDC, but you can see from my channel, we love our rock and roll. Okay. I don't know if you could see it, but we love it. And yeah, my radio's always turned up. Always. It may not be rock and roll. It may be something else because I'm pretty eclectic when it comes to my music. But yeah, I think so. Anyway. Okay, we're going to start on this first letter. Okay. Now, my oldest daughter treats me like her enemy. Okay, that's kind of crazy. It really is. And y'all give me just 1 second, because I'm going to have to ask my husband to come and get this dog so he'll quit whining at me. Go lay yourself down, sir. Pardon me, y'all. Lay down. Anyway, if he'll behave himself. So let's get into this letter because it's going to be a different one. Okay, B. I'm writing this with a knot in my stomach because I don't even know when my relationship with my oldest daughter slipped into this place. She's 21 now, and for the last 2 years, it feels like she sees me as the villain in her life. We used to be close. She used to come to me for everything: advice, comfort, little stories about her day. Somewhere along the line, all of that changed. Now every conversation feels like a landmine. She doesn't speak to me with frustration or annoyance. She speaks to me with resentment, and I don't understand where it's coming from. If I ask how school is going, she says I'm pressuring her. If I ask where she's going, she says I'm controlling. If I mention something I'm worried about, she says I'm overreacting. If I give advice, she says I don't support her dreams. If I stay quiet, she says I don't care. Everything I say turns into an argument. Everything. She raises her voice, snaps at me, storms off, shuts down, or accuses me of things that don't match the mother I know I've been. I wasn't perfect. No mother is. But I never neglected her. I never abused her. I never tore her down. I worked hard. I showed up. I supported her, and I loved her in every way I knew how. But somehow she's rewritten me in her mind as someone I don't recognize. She tells people I held her back because I insisted she finish school. She tells her boyfriend I'm judgmental when I've barely even met him. She posts vague things online that feel directed at me, calling certain people toxic. It hurts deeply. I miss her. I miss our closeness. I miss the sound of her laughter in my house. I miss when she talked to me instead of talked at me. I miss knowing what's going on in her life. I miss feeling like her mother instead of an obstacle she has to push against to feel independent. But I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if I say the wrong thing, she'll cut me off completely, or the distance will turn into estrangement. And I'm afraid that this version of us is permanent. How do I reach a daughter who sees me as the enemy? How do I stay connected without letting her disrespect me? And how do I show love to someone who keeps interpreting my love as control? Signed, Hurting Mom. Oh, honey, I'm so sorry for that. I really am. I really am. And I think this one's tender, okay? Mother-daughter pain. I mean, mother-kid pain. Anytime, any kid, any of them, mother-daughter pain runs deep because it touches identity on both sides. When a mother hurts, she hurts from her heart. And when a daughter hurts, she hurts from her story. Let's take our time, okay? Because everything that you're feeling is real, all right? Valid, and more common than you think. But nobody talks about it. We're going to walk through it slowly. Okay, this has got layers. We've found another onion, I guess. Pardon me. So your daughter is not actually angry at you. She's angry at her own becoming. Okay. This is the first truth that you need to breathe into your chest. Right? When daughters hit adulthood, they don't pull away because their mother did something wrong. Okay. They pull away because they're trying to figure out who they are. Growing up means separating her identity from yours. And separation often starts as conflict. Pardon me. It's uncomfortable and messy and emotional. And it feels personal, even when it's not. Now, your daughter isn't really attacking you, okay? She's attacking the invisible pressure she feels to grow up, to make decisions on her own, to succeed on her own, to be independent, right? And the closest target is always the mom. She's rewriting childhood to make sense of adulthood. Okay, this is something a lot of mothers never get told. When kids become adults, they start looking back at their childhood through adult logic instead of child feelings. So now she judges moments she didn't understand then. A simple rule you set becomes control. A worry you expressed becomes pressure. A boundary that you held becomes punishment, and a disagreement becomes trauma. Your guidance becomes criticism. Echo says, growing pains can be so tough. Oh, you are so right about that, sis. Man. And we tend to, as adults, forget that we were like that too. Maybe not in the same capacity, but we were to some degree. She's not telling the truth. She's telling her version of the truth based on her feelings, not the facts, right? And that version is shaped by, fear of adulthood and insecurity, mistakes that she's already made, guilt she doesn't want to face, pressure, obviously, the need to blame someone for her anxiety, the comfort of blaming the safest person in her life, and that safest person is you. Moms and daughters, right? Now, she sees you as the enemy because you are the last piece of childhood she's trying to break away from. And I know that's hard to accept. Believe me, I'm feeling it. I'm not necessarily at the empty nest phase because my daughter does live with me, but she is her own person. She's over 20. She's has a partner. She has started her life. And, some daughters, they'll pull away kind of gently. And then some will kind of pull away quietly, gradually. And some, they just pull away with fire. Thankfully, mine did not pull away with fire, but she has found her independence. And those are the things you have to be proud of. Even if it hurts a little bit, that's a mother's sacrifice. And please get it into your mind. This is not because they hate you. They do not hate you. And they may act like they do. It may feel like they do, but there's going to come a point in time in their lives. Once they get past all of that, they're going to realize and they're going to understand, okay? Just like we did with our parents. And they did with their parents. Your daughter's not rejecting your love. She's rejecting the version of herself that she was when she still needed you. Listen, this is her transition from child to adult, and transitions are chaotic, okay? But through chaos comes change. And this is not a reflection of your motherhood. Please, please believe that. It's a reflection of her growing pains, just like Echo was just talking about. You didn't fail her or break her or damage her. Even if she tells you daily you did. That's what a child does for you on into their adulthood. Remember this. You raised her. You protected her. Okay? You guided her and supported her. But now, she's trying to grow beyond the person she was under your wing. You got to keep that in mind, honey. The pain that you feel is the ache of detachment, okay? A natural yet brutal part of mother-daughter life cycle. And it hurts. I know it hurts. And you can write me another letter and I will listen to all that hurt, please. But you need to hear this clearly, okay? You don't deserve disrespect. Your daughter's fear does not excuse her tone. Her confusion does not justify her anger. And her independence does not require cruelty. You can be patient with being a doormat. You can, okay? You can. You can be loving without being a target. And you can be open without being attacked. You don't need to be a doormat who's targeted, who's attacked in every conversation, okay? This is my point. Boundaries are not punishments. They're protections. And self-preservation is still allowed. You're allowed to say, I love you, but I won't be spoken to like this. And then leave the conversation. Don't argue. And don't be angry. Anger never solves anything. We all know this. And do it with calm self-respect. That's how you earn respect. Right? And that's what we're teaching our children. Lead by example. Now, she needs to see what emotional adulthood looks like. And that lesson comes from you. Now, what she's calling control is actually your concern. But she can't see it like that anymore. When a daughter is standing in the doorway between girlhood and womanhood, everything her mother says feels loaded. Your worry, your advice, your caution, especially your caution, your questions and reminders. Oh my goodness, your boundaries. They all feel like criticism to her. Not because they are criticism, but because she hasn't learned how to separate concern from control. So that's emotional maturity, and she isn't there yet. The healing starts with, I suppose, changing the way you respond, not the way she behaves. This one's hard. I want to be clear about this. You can't force her to soften, okay? But you can become the safe place she eventually returns to. A few tips on that. Respond to emotion, not to disrespect. If she's yelling, stay calm. Don't react. I will go back to that every single time. Don't react. If she storms off, let her go. Don't chase her. It's just more chaos on the end of that chase. If she attacks your character, ground yourself. You don't match her intensity, though. You model the behavior she hasn't developed yet. Shorten your explanations. Don't over-explain. Don't justify every word. And don't try to convince her of your intentions. Okay? Just say plainly, I hear you. I love you. Let's come back to this when we're both calm. It's pretty easy. It can be. Adult daughters need breathing room, but they also need an emotional anchor, and you become both. So offer a connection without demanding it, okay? Send a text occasionally, thinking of you, hope your day's going good. I love you. No expectations and no pressure. No guilt. No guilt. This keeps the door open, not forced, just open. Your daughter will come back. They eventually realize they do need you, but she needs time to see you through adult eyes. This phase is temporary. It's painful, very painful, but temporary. So daughters, who pull away hardest often return the strongest, I find. In fact, any kid, not just daughters, male and female. And I think the relationship does end up becoming deeper because of it. There will come a day when she realizes you weren't controlling, understands you're worrying, and it came from love. Okay? She'll see you as a human, not just mom. Recognize that stability that you provided her. She appreciates the boundaries you tried to teach her. She'll come to you with gratitude instead of resentment. Adulthood changes the narrative. Life humbles people, okay? Experience, it softens edges. And one day, she will look at you differently. Not as the enemy, but as the person you stay. Here's your truth. The one your heart needs. Pardon me, 1 second. I'm so sorry. Okay. You didn't lose your daughter. You're losing the child version of her, okay? I'm sorry. I have a whiny dog today, as you can tell. Please forgive me. I'm going to have to let him out. I am so sorry about this. I will be right back. Pardon. Okay, I'm back. Please forgive me. My dog can be such a mess. So sorry about that. Did you want to come up? All right. Please forgive me. Crazy dogs. Okay, I'm back. So let's get back into this. Forgive me. Okay. Back to what I was saying. You didn't lose your daughter. You're losing the child version of her. Okay. And that dog is supposed, or that loss. I'm talking about my dog still. That loss is supposed to hurt. Okay. Because it mattered. But she isn't gone. Okay. She's not gone. She's transitioning and learning and stumbling and becoming. She's figuring out who she is without rejecting where she came from. This messy middle is not permanent, it is a bridge. And one day, she will cross back over and she'll find you, and you're going to be there waiting. You know you will. A mother who loved her enough to give her both boundaries and grace. Yes. Hi, Big Jack. Good to see you. So I guess my answer to you today is just have patience. She loves you. There's no hate there. And one of these days, very soon, she's going to come back and she's going to tell you that. And hopefully, you'll still be coming here to see me and you'll get to tell me all about it, or you'll send me an email and let me know, because I would love to hear the end of that story. Don't forget, all those emails are running across the ticker at the bottom. Okay? Make sure you send anybody, any one of us, for any of the shows. If you want to send Big Jack one about Ask a Bee, you go right ahead, because he'll take care of me and I take care of him. So make sure you do that. I think we're probably going to go ahead and transition on into another letter today. That one was quick, but it worked out just fine. All righty. Let's see. Oh, this one seems a little not so fun, but we'll get into it. Dear B, I've been married for 12 years, and lately I feel like I'm living with a polite stranger. We don't fight. We don't scream. We don't hate each other. In fact, that might be what makes all of this even more confusing. There's no obvious problem to point out. It's more like the air between us slowly thinned until there was nothing left to breathe. We do all the things married couples are supposed to do: pay bills together, raise kids, share a home, eat at the same table, sleep in the same bed. But it doesn't feel like a marriage. It feels like a business partnership. We barely talk unless it's about logistics, groceries, schedules, kids, appointments, work. We haven't gone on a date in forever. We don't laugh together the way we used to. We don't flirt. We don't touch unless it's a quick hug in passing. We don't argue, but we also don't connect. It's like the emotional part of the marriage quietly slipped out the back door, and neither of us noticed until the house felt empty. At night, even though we lie next to each other, there's a mile of space between us. I can feel him there physically, but emotionally, he feels far away. Sometimes I look at him and wonder if he notices any of this. Does he feel the distance too? Or is he content as long as nothing is wrong? This is a rough one. I don't want him to hurt, or I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to start a fight. We don't know how to finish, but I'm scared. I'm scared that if we don't address this, we're going to keep drifting until we wake up one day realizing we're just two people coexisting in the same house. How do I talk about something that isn't broken, just empty? How do I reconnect with someone who feels like a memory of the person I used to love? And how do I fix a marriage that looks fine on the outside but feels hollow on the inside? Signed, Lonely Beside Someone. Hello, plus sister. Nisi, good to see you, honey. Thank you for being here. Okay. Lonely Beside Someone. Wow. Okay, baby, this one right here is one of the quickest heartbreaks a woman can live through. There's no explosive fight, no betrayal, no dramatic ending. It's not fire, it's ice. Slow, subtle, silent, distant. And sometimes that hurts worse because you don't even know what you're grieving until the loneliness settles in, you know? Let's take our time with this one for sure. Roommate marriages don't happen overnight. They happen by erosion. Most marriages end loudly. Roommate marriages end very quietly. Not because anyone did something terrible, but because no one really did anything meaningful. And love isn't destroyed by hate. Love is destroyed by inattention. Now, okay, you're not imagining this. You're not being dramatic or ungrateful. You're noticing the consequences of years of emotional autopilot. Autopilot, I hate that word so much. That's real. It's real. And this isn't a crisis, okay? It's a warning light. Huge warning light. There's a difference. Okay, a crisis means it's burning. A warning light means it can still be saved. Your marriage isn't dead. It's just asleep. Deep asleep. And you're the one waking up first. That's why it feels alarming. You're not noticing the distance before he has, okay? Or you are noticing the distance. Sorry. But listen to me, okay? Marriages can come back from this. Many do. But only if someone speaks up. You have to be that someone. You're not mourning your husband. You're mourning the version of the marriage you miss. Okay? You miss the spark, the playfulness, the inside jokes. I mean, who wouldn't? The flirting, the intentionality, I guess is the word I'm looking for. The emotional check-ins, okay? The us against the world energy, the comfort, the connection, and the feeling of being seen. You're not lonely because you're alone. You're lonely because you haven't been emotionally held in a long time. A woman doesn't need fireworks, okay? I know not many men are listening, but let me tell you, we don't need fireworks. We need presence. And I know there are a lot of good men out there that know. I do. But I'm sorry, my friend, but you haven't gotten that in a while, I'm sure. Now, men don't recognize emotional distance the way women do. They're not programmed to. Women are. That's not on them. You have to tell them. Women feel emotional temperature like a thermostat. And Well, men react to emotional climate like a weather report after the storm has already arrived. He's not ignoring the disconnect, okay? He's unaware of it. To him, no fighting is good. Stable routine is success, okay? Peace is happiness, and quiet means it's okay. He doesn't see the problem because he doesn't feel the absence of emotion the way you do. Let's see here. Echo says, my marriage did exactly the same thing after 29 and a half years. My husband woke up one day and decided to change all our lives, and by starting an affair. Oh, then he left me and our daughter. I was completely blindsided and thought we were happily married. Yes, I hate that you went through that, Echo. I truly am. But honey, I know that opened the door for much better for the two of you, because you didn't need that kind of negativity in your life anyway. And if he didn't stand with you, you know what? Well, there you go. There you go. 10 years later, we are co-parents and co-grandparents. But at least you're coexisting, right? That's the point. You got to coexist. And it's for your grandchildren and your children, even your children as adults. And women get so frustrated with men because they don't understand, but I'm sorry, and I'm living proof of this, and I'm happy to say that I've finally figured this out. We don't give it to the men the way they deserve to be able to understand it, okay? My whole policy about not reacting, okay? This is my point. Because just as soon as a woman gets upset and starts to react, and I am so guilty of this, okay? Just as soon as I start to react, I want to explain every single thing that I have. And I've said this before. You cannot toss a whole basket full of words on a man and expect him to understand. Okay? You can't. You may process things a lot faster than him. Hey, he may even process things faster than you, but you cannot do that to a person, a human, a man, a woman, anybody. Do not throw all these words to make one point, because it's going to do nothing but drown you both, and we don't drown each other. That's where it starts to become silent, because then, he expects you to drown him. And so he just, men do this. And what, I'm sorry, some women do this too. I've done this before, but they sit there silent, just waiting for the storm to pass so that, they can survive that storm. That storm is you reacting, and reacting with all that emotion is only going to push him further away. Stop for a minute, breathe, okay? Just take a breath. And if you can sit down and talk without reacting and actually have a conversation with him, you're going to find, and I hope you find, let me put it that way, I hope you find that there is salvation there in the marriage. But you also got to remember, too, marriage needs both. It takes two to tango, people. When connection fades, couples start communicating only through function. And this is why everything feels transactional, right? Echo says, it hurt, but I picked up the pieces and I'm happy now. And that is all that matters, honey. I'm so happy for you. Absolutely. Very happy for you, honey. You deserve it. I know we don't know each other that well, but I'm learning. And let me tell you something. You're a good woman and you deserve to be happy. As does any woman in my chat right now. And Echo says, communication is the key. Amen, sis. Yes. We don't know how to tell them our feelings, and they will look the other way in order not to be confronted. Exactly my point. Nisi says, never been married, but I understand what you're saying. You don't have to be married to understand men and women. We're the opposites attract. That's the way it happens. And some, like myself, I know my husband's not into all those details, so I take that on. And that's okay, because there are things that he takes on that I don't want to even touch, like the vehicles. I mean, I can if I need to, but I don't want to. I really don't want to, but back to what I was saying. Yeah, see, Nisi, I know you understand that, honey. And back to what I was trying to say, though, feeling transactional. Did you pay the bill? Did you pick up the kids? What's for dinner? Did you call the dentist? Can you grab bread on the way home? It's transactional. And this operational communication, not relational communication, I guess. You are running a household together, but you're not running a marriage. And that hurts. Now, a marriage without emotional exchange turns into a partnership, and a partnership without romance turns into roommates. You're living the final stage of that slide, but you're catching it in time. Okay? All is not lost. What you're feeling is grief mixed with fear, and both are normal and totally valid. You're grieving the marriage you remember, the closeness that used to be effortless, the version of him you used to see, and the version of you that used to feel chosen. You're afraid of losing him emotionally, rocking the boat, starting something you can't fix, facing the truth, being the only one trying, hearing that he's content while you're hurting. And those fears are legitimate, but silence won't heal them. You got to talk. Like Echo said, communication is the key. Absolutely. And the hardest part isn't fixing the marriage, okay? It's starting the conversation. You don't start it by saying, hey, we have a problem, or I don't think you love me anymore. We're drifting apart. Come on, y'all. No. Those feel like attacks to someone who didn't even realize anything was wrong. You start it with vulnerability. I miss us. I miss the way we used to feel. Pause. Let him breathe. That's all the further you need to go at that very moment. Pause. It's okay to pause. We all have one life and we are rushing through it way too fast. And then we're trying to rush people alongside of us. Why? You've got to stop and take a breath. Then say something like, look, we're okay, but I want to be connected again. I want us to feel alive together again. Don't blame or accuse, or there's no disappointment in that. It's an invitation, okay? Men respond to invitations more than confrontations. Believe it. Way more. Rebuilding a marriage starts small. One date night. One walk. Go around the block. A conversation after the kids go to bed. 1 hour with phones turned off. A moment of intentional affection. Okay? And I don't mean, in the back of the seat, down the street, while the kids are out doing their thing, okay? What I am saying when I mean affection, the S word, that's a way of showing love, but that's not just affection, okay? I'm talking about put your arm around your wife or your husband and say, you know what? If I haven't told you today, I absolutely love you. Or, you know what? Something my husband does that it gets me sometimes in good spot and bad spot because sometimes it just makes me feel old. But hey, do you remember when? I'm 54 years old and that makes me feel old, and that's okay too. I'm 54 years old and I have a lot of memories. You know, reconnection isn't a grand gesture, it's a slow reset through micro moments. You don't revive a marriage by flipping a switch, you revive it by turning towards each other again a little at a time. You also need to shift from running the house to rebuilding the bond. Your marriage is drowning in routine. It needs oxygen. All you got to do to start is share something vulnerable weekly. Compliment each other intentionally. Touch him in small, gentle ways. Put your hand on his shoulder before you start talking to him. Okay? Walk up, put your hand on his cheek, and just smile as you're looking into his eyes, and then walk away. Laugh at something together. Okay? Create small rituals, coffee talks, nightly check ins, bed chats, The marriage you want won't come from big fixes. It comes from consistent warmth. 35 years I've got going under my belt. And let me tell you, I've learned all of this in this whole situation. And we've had our hard times. We've even been separated a couple of times. But we found our way back to each other. And here's the truth that your heart needs the most. This is not the end of your marriage. This is the middle. Okay? The messy middle where couples either drift apart or grow into their next chapter. And Nisi says, I love to reminisce. That's really important. Laughter's the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's why I really accept it, even when it makes me feel so old. I accept it because you know what? I like to remember when. And it used to get on my nerves when he would say that. It did. Because I didn't want to remember when. I was young then. But now it's like, yeah, I like remembering when. But when you notice the distance because you care, you feel the emptiness because you remember the fullness. Okay? You're scared of the disconnection because you value the connection. That's not the sign of failed marriage. That's the sign of a woman and a man ready to fight for what they built. Your marriage is not dying. It's asking to be awakened. It's phasing into a new shift. And baby, you can make it. You can make it. You know you can. Come on. You've been in it this long. Find yourself there. You know you will. And get back to good. Communicate. Communicate, please. That's what is the whole key. And thank you, Echo, for bringing that up because you are so, so right about that. And I am so happy that you have found your happiness, Echo. Amen. And Nisi, honey, you got a plus, sister. What do you need anything else for? I love you, honey. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and close this one out today. But I want to say, it's going to bring us to the end. Thank you for spending this time with me, for showing up with open hearts, for staying through the laughter. That first one was good. I liked that one. The honesty and the truth we pulled out of today's letters. And this is what makes this show work, not perfection, not polish, but people showing up exactly as they are. And if today's letters spoke to you, even the funny one, or if you got your own story you're ready to put into outer space. Remember, you can send it in anytime. You'll see the emails scrolling across still. Mine, Big Jack's, and Mama Lyons. Send an email to any of us. We can get you in contact with the other if we need to. If it's a question for Ask a Bee, a topic for the Ladies' Diary, or maybe you want to get in on that Gentleman's Journal or some of the beautiful spinoffs that we have going on now, all you have to do is send an email. Okay? Reach out. This whole network, it works because we build it together. And for those of you who are new here, especially my short watchers and my music folks, don't forget, we do this every single day, except for Sunday. Long form, real talk, real life, real community. If you've only seen the shorts, you've only met half of what this channel is. Also, make sure you're checking out the live streams. Come on, when they go up, every day has its own rhythm, conversations, tributes, musics, panels, and you never know what kind of breakthrough moment is going to happen. And now the tradition continues. If you missed it earlier, make sure you go back and catch today's Rock Legend trivia. Oh, well, I haven't got that trivia question out yet, have I? How silly is that? Anyway, thank you again to Big Jack for today's incredible intro. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same truth, 12 p.m. Central for another Ask a Bee. Please like, share, and subscribe for more. Don't miss any of the lives. Solar, Beetlejuice, National, Weather, and little bit of 3-Eye Atlas. Go and check out my music shorts and learn something new about your favorite band or artist, and keep your peace, keep your faith, keep your funny. And y'all come on back because we're turning pollen into honey. Love y'all. Bye now.
How you like that?